Hello and welcome to LinkedIn Uncovered. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm alone today. I've usually got a partner with me, but not today. Thank you as well for those who are watching on the replay. LinkedIn Uncovered, if you've not actually watched yet, it's a show in which I look to explore LinkedIn strategies that you can help to gain and keep the attention of the people you want to engage with on LinkedIn. So whether you're on the live or the live even or the replay, please leave your comments and questions as they arise, and I'll answer them. So today, I want to talk to you about finding your perfect customers. I will now share my screen and take you through a short presentation. So finding your perfect customers and doing so, importantly, in the most effective way. Before you actually think about, finding your perfect customers, you've got to ask yourself some questions, like who are they? Before you can find them and get into conversations, build relationships with your perfect clients, step one is to define who they are. Once you have, this, it's about the best offer that you can present to them. Is it a free offer like, this LinkedIn Live that I'm doing just now is a free offer to you guys? Or, is it a paid option? Positioning is about putting your best foot forward and presenting yourself and offer as a credible option for the buyer. It's all about building trust. So once you know who you're targeting and you're generating some visibility, you do this by inbound and outbound activities. So lastly, in order to make the most of your time and money and doing things in the most effective way, it's crucial to do this as we have all got a finite amount of resources. So in this presentation, I'm going to take you through this process so you can implement some of the learnings to tighten up what you already do. So who are your perfect clients? Who is it that will make or influence the buying decision? Your buyer could be an individual, or it could be a whole buying team. There's a stat, I like my stats, and if it's a buying team, there's a stat that says that 6.4 people are involved in a significant purchase, which is $10,000. So, for myself, I've worked with corporates and sales teams, and it might be I reach out to the chief sales officer, or it could be a sales director, it could be head of sales enablement, a sales manager, could be a business development manager, a business development executive. So, ultimately the chief sales officer will, sign off, on the work. But, it could be a business development executive that takes, your opportunity to the sales office, the chief sales officer, or it could be his direct boss, the business development manager, and then it works its way up. So a good way of obviously defining who your your buyer is who are your best current customers. Look up some of your best customers, 5, 10, find them on LinkedIn. What job titles are they? What sectors are they in? What geographical location are they in? Is there any sort of commonality? Because what you're wanting to do is to sort of find more of those people. Who is likely to give you the most money with the least of resistance? Obviously, economic factors, like obviously there's a war in Ukraine right now, and you need to take these sort of things into consideration because, for example, when the pandemic hit, 2 years ago, pretty much 2 years ago now, and the UK, which is where I'm from, went into lockdown. I had a number of corporate clients who basically either scaled down on what they were doing, or one client in particular, we're about to actually implement something further, and that got cancelled. So think about external factors. Who's the best person to target right now? Your who should be someone you can actually help. So obviously there's no point in targeting people that either don't want your help or you can't actually help them. Your who should also be, someone you can define. If you can't define, your target audience, you can't find them easily via search. An example that I use is basically landlords. So people that own property who rent them out, they could be anyone. they could be anyone. So it's very difficult. People don't go around sticking up the hand and saying, I'm a landlord, help me out. Whom you choose to target, this is a vital step. It's the most important step, and it's the step that I see most people not giving enough attention to. At the start of every campaign, and what you're trying to do is to fill up a funnel with people. If you fill it up with people that are not massively relevant, not really interested in what you're offering, then you can waste a lot of time and resources on people that are never going to buy from you. Wasting time is really the number one thing that none of us should be doing. We've got finite resources, and you really only want to be targeting people that are interested in what you're offering and are likely to buy. So what do you want to sell to them? That's the next step. Your offer should be simple and straightforward to the buyer, so they understand it and they want it. So you don't want prospects to have to think too much. If they have to think, you can easily lose your attention. So what you're trying to do is to gain the attention of people who can potentially buy. So if you're not clear, clarity about who you're targeting and clarity about what your offer is and how you describe that, then you can lose your audience, which is obviously something you don't want to do. What solution are you going to present to the buyer to help them with their most pressing problem? Obviously, if there's a number of things you can help with, and there's something that is a real problem that keeps them up at night rather than nice to haves, you should obviously target that. It needs to be solve their problem and be relevant to them, right now, or they'll not be interested. Going back to the external factors, if there's an offer that is not really relevant for right now, then choose another offer. Define what you want to present. Is your offer like this offer for me today is a free webinar or a LinkedIn Live, providing you guys with information that hopefully you'll find of use and value. But it could be your core offer. Get them to become a customer. So at the end of the presentation, I'm going to present you guys with a small ticket offer that you can either take up or not. But also your offer could be something that's bigger. It could be something that takes more time or more value. So which offer do you want to present? Spend some time thinking about. Sometimes you want to get your foot in the door, so you might present someone with a core offer, or sometimes you're basically generating interest. So you're offering, like this webinar for free. So how do I position my offer, myself and my company? So it's all about relevancy. Avoid the trap of being too generalized. Your LinkedIn profile, it needs to be positioned for, the people that you're targeting, who they are and how you help them. Why you? Why not another competitor? Why your offer and how to access that offer. Make it as easy as possible. It needs to position you as someone they can trust. So, if we take that into your profile and optimizing your profile, your banner, having a call to action on your banner, your profile photo, making sure you come across as, or you look approachable. If you're on creator mode, if you've activated creator mode, you've got a 30-second video to say who you help and how you help them. Video is very powerful at, getting across your personality and what type of person you're like. Your headline, it should, position you as, an authority, but also, reach out to those and, call out those that you help and how you help them. And also you can put a call to action in there as well. Your featured section, add a call to action and it showcase, why what you do and what you help with. This is all about building up credibility for you, your company, and what you offer. The about section, more personal, have more personal details about your journey, about how you become, that authority. Experience section is more company focused. Recommendations, these are the best things you can do on your profile for trust. So, if you've got a profile that has no recommendations, how does someone visiting your profile know you're any good? Obviously, hopefully you're good, but you need to be able to provide that trust. So if you don't have any recommendations right now, reach out to your new customers that you've just serviced and provided good service to. They'll be more than happy, in the whole, to give you a recommendation. Direct messaging, for relevancy with direct messaging, direct messaging has been abused obviously a lot, and over the time in LinkedIn, with people just selling straight away on the second message after connection. Don't do that. That's obviously going to put off the people that you're trying to reach out to. Keep your messages on point. They need to be relevant for who you're targeting. Don't send messages if you've got no idea that someone might be willing to buy from you because they're not a targeted person, or they've not indicated that they're interested. So with your connection messages, welcome messages, job promotion messages, and other touch point messages, make sure they're relevant, make sure they're targeted, and even better, make sure it's to people that are warm already. Search is something that I've been doing search since 2003 when I started my search journey doing search engine optimization. The more targeted you are, the more effective it is. LinkedIn has instigated 100 connection request limit. So obviously, if you connect with people that aren't, send connection messages with people that aren't that targeted, you're not going to get as many acceptances, and that's inefficient. When you set up a search, check the results. Don't just set up a search and not look at the people that are in that search, because you can tweak the search to make it more relevant for who you're actually targeting. And consider paying for Sales Navigator. For those of you on the LinkedIn Live that know me well, and I'm passionate about Sales Navigator. So I'm not going to go into huge detail about Sales Navigator today. I can do that in another session, but it really does make a huge difference for saving you time and working effectively. So the search that you can see on the screen there is, this is the free search, which has sort of got limited functionality, whereas Sales Navigator has a lot more functionality and helps you actually become more targeted. So I've just highlighted some of the sort of most used search functionality in Sales Navigator. So this first one is current company. So you can actually do something called account-based marketing, where you can actually add, say you wanted to target the top 100 software companies in the world. You can add them all in here. You might not need the company headcount, but then you can add in obviously job titles, which I haven't highlighted, which is here, job titles. If company size is important, geography, industry. Spotlights is something that is very important, because there's one in here about checks, people that have posted in the last 30 days. So with that, that's an active LinkedIn user. Lead lists is something in itself that is very, very important, because in this way, you can actually segment your first connections. You can segment people that you already know about. So very, very powerful. So how do you find and gain the attention of your target audience? Well, we need to become visible and be relevant. So in order to gain someone's attention, you need to basically say, hi, I'm here. So you can do that really through both outbound and inbound activities. And this is the best way to sort of gain maximum exposure. What I mean by outbound activities is you proactively reaching out to prospects. For example, like I did today, most of you are probably on here because I sent you an invite to the event. Other outbound activities include, well, first of all, you need to build a relevant audience of people who can buy. You need to engage with them, not only when they're, a first connection, but even before they're a first connection, because warm leads, warm people, prospects, have a 50% higher acceptance rate. So basically, you reach out to someone after you've engaged with their content a couple of times, they're more likely to, obviously a lot more likely to connect. Consistently send 100 connection requests weekly. This is really, really important now because, 1.5 years ago, or I think 1 year ago, you could still send, 50 connection messages a day and be absolutely safe. This is now, 100 connection requests. And, it's actually positive that LinkedIn is doing this to, deter people from sending mass connection messages to people that aren't relevant for what they're offering. Engage with your audience through meaningful messaging and engage with their content. So these are all outbound activities that you can do to basically build an audience and actually, create meaningful touch points with them. But then there's inbound activities. So, what I mean by inbound activities is, for example, I create a post and it attracts in people who are interested, in inbound activities. So, that post, adds value to your audience. So it could be a post, it could be a poll, it could be a video, it could be text, it could be text and image. So use a variety of different types of content to keep it fresh. Don't just do, all one medium, like all video or all, posts or polls. One thing I would say is embrace video. Video is great for personalization and branding. If you've got, I'd advise you to also activate creator mode, because that gives you the ability for that 30-second, intro video to yourself. But there's also other benefits of, you can create a newsletter, and there's other benefits as well. So do switch to creator mode. You can also do LinkedIn Lives, but you need to qualify for LinkedIn Lives, and that's another topic in itself. But there's another sort of way that you can actually do outbound activities from inbound. And this is something, this is the biggest opportunity I see on LinkedIn, is people not following up when someone is sticking up their hand to say they're interested. Give them the attention by following up. There's people that go on your profile, people that follow you, follow your company page. The amount of times I see people create content and then not respond to the comments. These are people that have actually taken the time to, engage with your content. So why not basically engage with them? They could be your next client. You can also send connection messages to targeted people, targeted second and third connections who are engaging with your content. Build that network. So really, it's about creating a sort of fusion of outbound and inbound activities. So as you can see from this recent poll I did, all these outbound and outbound activities do work. So why wouldn't you? So why not try them? For you, outbound might work better than inbound, and vice versa. So in this poll, this suggests that they do work for the people that partook in the poll. So why not try them and see what works for you? So how can you do this in the most effective way? So following on from focusing on the activities that give you the best results, in order to understand what is working and converting people effectively, you need to track your numbers and the people in your funnel. So basically what you're effectively doing is basically creating a funnel so that people, you're targeting the right people, you're building the audience, you're generating inbound and outbound touch points to generate qualified leads, because you're getting into conversations and then, basically, converting them into coming off LinkedIn and then becoming customers. So, you should track your connection rate, acceptance rate, your content metrics, what's working, what isn't, is video working better than, text posts? Why? What can I change? You should track the number of prospects you have as first connections. The amount of times, I go to someone, say they've got 1,000 connections, and they don't know how many potential clients they've got in their in their existing connections. Everyone thinks about, I've got to get new people, but there's sort of potential customers sitting there that you haven't engaged with for years. You should track the number of engaged prospects and how engaged they are. This helps to provide focus. So if you track who is engaging with your content, like I did, I've invited today people that have engaged with my content and have come to past webinars. You should track leads, clients, and money. It's all about providing visibility so you can actually be as effective as possible. So in free and premium, there's no way to actually track this. You need to sort of use an external spreadsheet or CRM. But in Sales Navigator, there's actually ways to segment, people into different groups of what they've done, what they've engaged with you. Within Sales Navigator, it's effectively a mini CRM, and you can have up to a maximum of 10,000 contacts. So I've gone through, something very, very quickly today. So what I've actually gone through is my Boost system. So it's a 5-step process to help organize thoughts and activities on LinkedIn so that, if you're running a campaign, you can do this in a more effective way. So in order to help you guys that are on the call or on the replay, I'm going to present you guys with an offer. So if you feel like you may not be getting the returns from your LinkedIn efforts, I'm offering a 1-hour consultancy for £100. During this consultancy, you can pretty much ask me anything that you're having problems with, currently right now. Are you struggling with identifying who is best to target for you, and what offer should you be offering that the people that you're trying to target? Have you optimized your profile? Are you struggling with converting connections through your connection messages or direct messages? Are you struggling with searches? Setting up searches is a massive skill in itself, and are they relevant enough? Do you need help with outbound, inbound strategies, or is tracking the thing? What numbers should you be tracking, and how should you be tracking? So, apologies for the long link. So basically, to access this offer, go to this link. It is a long link, unfortunately. Set that up reasonably quickly. If you want to basically, action this offer, type link in the comments, and I'll send you a DM with this link. If you basically get it incorrect while you're copying it down now, I'm now going to go back through the comments to basically look at your comments. I've obviously the presentation, I've been sort of focusing more on that. So I'm going to do that right now. So back on screen. So if I go to the chat, Robert Berry's got his hand up. Robert, if you're still with us, what is your question? Or are you just saying hello? Good to see you. Good morning, Philip. Great content. Thanks for sharing. Thank you very much, Ingar. And Arafur is just saying hello to everyone. So hello back. If you're still on the call, then thanks for sharing your expertise. Thanks, Susan. Happy to have a 100% consultancy from Roger. Roger, I'll be in touch with that link unless you, have already copied that down. So I don't think there's actually any more questions. So, thank you guys for showing up today. And, if you're watching the replay, thank you for turning up and giving me your support as well. I hope you've picked up, I did go through, the Boost system very, very quickly today. I don't think anyone wants to be on a 2-hour webinar, which we would certainly need if I went through, stuff in more detail. But hopefully you've picked up some useful insights, and I hopefully see you on the next episode of LinkedIn Uncovered. So thank you very much for coming, and hopefully I'll see you next time as well. Thank you.